Hey guys, Shrapnel here. Today we're going to be doing a quick video on, a review of the Buck Bantam 286. This is the largest in the Bantam series, and as you see, I have quite a few on the table to show you, and there's actually two more that I'm going to bring in a little bit. So right here we have a couple of the different camouflage options that are out there. As far as I'm aware, they don't come in any solid colors other than black. So you can't get just a straight red or a straight blue. It's either black or some kind of camouflage pattern. And there's basically regular, blaze orange, and I think there's also a pink one. There might be like a teal blue, but I doubt it. I haven't really spent enough time to really look into it, so we'll just go with camo, blaze orange, and I know there's a pink one. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. We'll leave the orange one on screen because my camera seems to like this one the most. So we have a approximately 3.75 inch blade made out of 420 high carbon. It does not have the Bose heat treat, which is unfortunate, but really not necessary. This knife, in terms of edge retention, has been quite good for what it is. These go for about $30 wherever you go. So as you can see, it is tip down, right side only. Pin construction. It's just your standard lockback knife. It's kind of a no frills design. You can one hand flick them. It does take some practice and usually some lubrication. Quick little side note, they really like the Victorinox oil. They really like this. Now, this one here did have a minor defect. The thumb stud was loose. The post was a little too long. So what I did is I just popped it off. They're just friction fit on. You can take them off with two pairs of pliers. Filed it down a little bit with my multi-tool. And then red thread locker. And then I just hammered it down as far as it would go. And it's on there pretty good. Now, we also have these two camouflage options. Same thing. These are made in the USA, if I did not mention that already, which is really cool. The quality control on these can be a little iffy, especially on the smaller 285 from what I've heard. This is an older one that is made in China, not in the US. As you can see, this thing's pretty well worn, but that's not what this video is about. Let's get those out of the way, and let's talk about the two black ones. The black ones are the ones I carry at work. We'll focus more on this one because this is the oldest one. As you can see, it is gross. I hope you don't have a weak stomach. Still nice and sharp. I don't have any paper to prove it. Actually, I could probably use a touch-up. So we got some silicone, just some grossness. I'm a pest control technician, so my knife does some pretty nasty stuff. I should probably be wearing gloves when I'm touching this, but frankly, I don't care. The paint on the pocket clip does wear off fairly quickly. Trying to see. Well, this one's still got it. That one, we got a little chip missing there. That one seems all right. Yeah, this one's kind of buggered. This one's getting there, and then we'll roll this one back in. Oof, this one looks more like it's anodized. Most of the wear on this is not from me. I bought this at a flea market. I am guilty of doing this to these. This is my other work knife. I kind of rotate through. I just grab whichever one. This one obviously gets grabbed a little less. Still kind of gross though. They've just been really, really good, solid use knives. Cover a couple of competitive options real quick. So we'll set that there. Actually, I think we'll go back to the orange one because that one shows up very nicely on this background. I should probably look into a lighter color background at some point. We'll leave that centered. Grab a couple of other knives that meet similar criteria. All right. So, since this is a folding hunting knife, it's only fair we compare it to some kind of folding hunter. This is the Victorinox Hunter Alox Pro. As you can see, it is a little bit bigger. This is also going to be significantly heavier, and this is about $70. This is about $30, maybe $35. So that's one thing to consider. Beautiful piece, by the way. As you can see, also a user. All right. We'll go with another lockback knife. Kind of similar in terms of weight and overall form factor. We have the Cold Steel Air Light. Again, also a user, nowhere near as much though. Well, you can definitely still see some grossness. So we'll put them down here. Now the Air Light is actually going to be smaller than this. It's got a bit more of a neutral handle. The buck is actually still a little more comfortable just due to the thickness overall. The Air Light is very slender while the buck has some girth to it. Another fantastic piece if you want to, basically if you want a Benchmade bug out with some balls. And you can't go wrong with the Cold Steel Triad lock. Alright, now let's get into some more budget-friendly options that are more in the price point category. Let's go with a couple of classics. Spyderco Tenacious. About the same price point. This will go for about $40 to $45. This is about $30 to $35, so a $10 difference. Comparable steel and HCR 13 MOV. This is not the original pocket clip. Normally it's just a regular standard carry clip. This offers four-way positionable. This is a liner lock, so the lock is technically weaker. The blade on this is also going to be a little bit less stout at first glance, but they're actually going to be about the same. Definitely a better slicer, but this is definitely more of a utilitarian shape. Alrighty. Next is another one of my favorite work knives, the CRKT M16 13Z. Very similar. I think you can kind of get an idea for the feel of what I like. I like my blade tip to be perfectly in line with the pivot of the handle, or at least as close as possible. And I also do like a bit of a guard. Both of these offer that in very different manners. The CRKT is actually one of my favorite knives to use when I do sheetrock work. As you can see, again, another user. I don't take good care of my knives, I will freely admit that. I just do enough maintenance to where they don't break down. Another fantastic option, this one also goes for I believe about $45. I have removed the lock system on this as well. But yeah, one more, and then we'll do two more real quick since there's not really too much to say. These are both going to come in under that price point. We have the V-Knives Grip Tide and a Crescent pocket knife that I picked up at Lowe's. All of these are pretty much everything I showed you would be an excellent work knife in varying fields. This one is probably going to be the weakest just due to that recurve. But nice, strong, lock back, aluminum handles. Nice knife. The Crescent knife, not bad. 5CR, so this has weaker steel. So yeah, a couple of comparisons. Probably got a little long-winded on those. So, all in all, do I recommend this knife? Yes, but I cannot recommend this specific knife to everybody. However, that's the nice thing when it's a series. You have more than one option. I only have two to show, the 286 and the 285. So I'll show those real quick. As you can see, the 285 is actually smaller. Then you have the 284, which is even smaller and without a pocket clip. And then there's the 283, which is also known as the Bantam Nano. Tiny little thing, kind of like a keychain style knife. The Bantam series offers a lot of variety. You could pick up the whole series and you have a knife you can stick everywhere. The Nano, throw on your keychain. The Bantam, the smallest one, the smaller one without the clip, the 284. You can stick that kind of where in the glove box or something. This can be your daily carry, and this one stays in any emergency kit. The lockup on these, since it's a lockback, is going to be strong. I've had no issue with it. They're not exactly one-handed in terms of wrist flick, especially on camera. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. But yeah, overall, not a bad option. Kind of shop around a little bit, see if you can find one. If you can find these for under $30, that's a screaming deal. Over $30, kind of pushing their luck. It's a very outdated design. I mean, look at some of these other knives out on the market today that you can get for under $30. A couple of prime examples would actually be the Crescent. This is a ball bearing flipper with 5CR15 MOV. So slightly lesser steel, but these can be had for about 15 bucks. Really cool knives, contoured G10, good action. V-Knives grip tied, these go for about 25 bucks. Excellent. I believe this is 8CR14 MOV. Yep, one of my favorite steels actually. So, all in all, I do recommend this knife. Shop around, see if you can find it under that $35 mark, especially for the larger one. And you'll actually have a pretty rock solid, if albeit very boring, knife. It's strictly utilitarian. It's not out there to impress anybody. Thanks for watching.